Hello guys, welcome you all again for this end-to-end AIML session where we're gonna have a year-long session. So end of this session, you all gonna get whatever the data scientist guys, hope you guys are enjoying this session. So before coming to this session, please watch all the videos till this so that you can have a clear understanding of what we are talking. So yeah, guys, this is a continuation session of previous session, like where we have introduced the data collection process. Like as Sir is explaining, it is like a primary source of data, how we are collecting the data. Okay. So yeah, guys, like without wasting any time, just jump into this session. So uh, one more data collection process, guys. Like experimental studies. Okay. So I think we have seen different things like interviews, questionnaires, forms, like those things for data collection. This is a way of data collection, like experimental studies. First of all, controlled environments. Experiments are conducted in a controlled settings to isolate and manipulate the variable. So we can collect the data by creating an environment where we need to collect the data. Okay, like it's a controlled environment. There will be no abstraction or like in the background noise, like those things. Okay, it's like a controlled environment. Next, random assignment. Participants are randomly assigned to different group to minimize the bias and ensure responsibilities. Like the thing is here, random assignment means, so we will be having group of people who have a specific task or specific knowledge they are having. We will just pick a person from each group and we will shuffle the things. What happens means, as sir is mentioning in the previous session, there are going to be no bias. Okay, there will be reduce in bias. I will not say it, there will be no bias, there will be a reduce in bias. Okay. So next, cause and effect relationship. Experiments aims in establishing cause and effect relationship by observing the impact of independent variables on the dependent variables. So this is the main thing, guys. What you do and what is the effect of it. Whatever the cause you do, what is an effect. So this is a way of collecting data. This is another way of collecting data. So it all comes under the experimental study, guys. So this is one of the way that we can collect the data. Okay, this is a specific way, guys. We can say that creating an environment in which we need to collect the data, that is a controlled environment. Random assignment means we are just picking everyone and just we are just shuffling the things so that we can minimize the bias. Cause and effect relationship means based on the scenario, what is the cause and what gonna be the effect, so that we collect the data based on that, so that there will be no bias. So we makes the data in a manner that it is pure. Okay, and makes it available for whatever the like experiments or whatever the analysis model building we need. Okay, so we making the data ready. Okay, very clear. Okay. Yes, sir. How about you?
Yes. So experimental studies, when we do all these studies, whether it is your healthcare data or any kind of data, so it is the first step is it should be in controlled environment. So experiments are conducted in control settings, isolated, and so it's always isolated and manipulate variables. So so we should not be in an environment where there's a manipulation happening in the data. It should be isolated, okay, so that there's no interference, no biasness, nothing. So you need to be keep when you are the environment should be controlled, okay. Then random assessments, we need to participants are randomly assigned to different groups to minimize bias and ensure representativeness. So you need to understand that there shouldn't be a grouping on kind of thing which is again biased and stuff. So you need to understand that so that you minimize the biasness. Then cause and effect of relationship is experiment aim is to establish cause and effect relationships, okay, by observing the impact of dependent variable on independent variable on dependent variable. So whether it is a dependent variable, you need to see vice versa. Okay, independent variable should be on dependent variable. So this is how you need to understand cause and effect, and you can see all those objectives should be done for experimental studies. Okay, so consider these guidelines, these are very important, and then we'll move ahead. Thanks.
Yes. So next comes secondary data source, guys. So till now, we have seen a primary data source where we can collect the data that we need. Now it is a secondary data source. Now we're gonna see government agencies, okay, like economic data, demographic statistics, healthcare data. These are available, right? So this is kind of a secondary data where we can collect from some website like those things, okay, articles. Next, academic institutions like research findings, scientific data, survey results, like those things are available documents, right? This is another way of secondary data that we can collect. And industry associations like trade trends, industry statuses, customer data, these are also available, right? The earlier yearly thing, the industries will release that monthly, yearly, the industry will release. So these are the secondary data that are available that we can collect and analyze. Another main thing, online platforms that, guys, we are seeing a social media like YouTube, right? So social media data, website analysis, and user reviews, these are available there, and these are the kind of secondary data, okay? So guys, any data that are available which we can use, that from where we can do the analysis and model building, that are called as a secondary data, okay? These are readily available data, just we need to pick and use it, okay? So like government agency data, academic institution related data, industry related data, online platform data, okay? So government agency, like it is like a this much amount of people have voted, so like those data, okay, like voting related data, consider as an example. Academic data, like everyone in in their college days, they are used to like present a paper, okay, IEEE paper kind of thing, they were doing, okay, research kind of papers, like those things. So those are available online, we can use it, okay? That's a secondary data. Industry related data, like monthly or yearly, they will just release their accomplishment, what are the technology they use, what are the important things they do, these are the milestones they have achieved, like those things they will do. Online platform, guys, I think this more than us you know, okay? So like in social media data, like how many likes, how many dislikes, how what is the trend, how many views are this, like those data, these are the secondary data that we are having, and based on that we can do for the collection and model building. Yes sir, over to you.
Yes. So secondary data, again, we have said that you need to collect it from government agencies. Again, government agencies, you need to understand that sometimes it is biased. They don't want to show the truth, and you need to understand those points. So economical data can be biased, demographic, statics, health records could have been manipulated. So you need to understand that you are not building a project on something which is going to fall down. So understand, you need to be very critical, huh? Then academic institutions, again, whatever they have done, maybe they have copy pasted from somewhere the research findings, scientific data, and survey results. So they have copy pasted from somewhere, but you don't know what was the source of that research and finding, and then you picked from there, and then you are building some project on it, again it will fall down. So you need to be very critical for that also. So industry associations, market trends, industry stats, and consumer data, again you need to find the source, because guys, it again can be biased because it's a billion-dollar business. They, some companies, they finance, literally they give them money to agencies, and then they keep getting that research done. So you need to be very good at stat understanding, the biasness and other things. And you need to again find the right sources, online platforms, social media, and websites. So you can rely on social media sometimes, but you need to have again a degree of freedom, that you need to that how much you can rely, because again, data source, and plus you need to be very critical, because social media data, you need to find the right source and user reviews. So for sentiment analysis, we use user reviews, so that we see the sentiments. That research is very powerful, but again you need to have a degree of freedom to see how much is it reliable. Sometimes lot of reviews customer gave just because of frustration, or whatever they want, the company has not done. So again, there is a lot of biasness, you need to see that. So be very, very, very critical when you're going for secondary data. Primary data, you have control, but here you don't have control because it's somebody else has done it. So that is why it is secondary. Primary data is whatever surveys, questionnaires, controlled experiment, groups, different things we have talked in the previous session. So there you have control, at least 95% control you have. But here you don't have any control. You just need to be very critical, finding the right source for the data.
Yeah, that's the true, sir. Because like whenever we collect the primary data, right, we have a vision of where we are collecting, why we are collecting, what we are collecting. Okay, but secondary data we doesn't know how they have collected, what they have collected, and when they have collected, for what reason they have collected. We doesn't know anything, right? So, guys, as sir is mentioning, because like from my perspective also, if you are using a primary data, then it's okay. Okay, you know everything about the data because you are the one who have done that. But secondary data, you need to have some restrictions also. Sometimes some of these documents that government is sharing, that there will be some restrictions, there will be some sensitive data. So you guys need to have a clear understanding of what to use, when to use, and where to use this secondary data. But when it comes to primary data, like you just go and use, because this is the data you have a proper understanding. Okay, so we have seen different type, right? How we can collect the primary data and secondary data. This all comes under the data collection. Okay, yeah. So moving on. Okay, guys, I say this is ethics consideration in data collection. This is what I'm just mentioning a second before. Okay, so privacy and confidentiality. Okay, as we are telling, right, most of the secondary data are like privacy. We doesn't have a rights to expose a data which is very sensitive. Whenever you go for industry data, you should not expose the data, right? You can use it, no problem, in a local way for like a learning purpose. You can use, but you should not expose the data. Okay, that is what this privacy and confidentiality. Next, informed consent. Like the participant should be fully informed about the study and provide explicit consent about participating. Like some kind of documents and files will have some terms and conditions. Okay, you need to just look into it, and you need to have a like proper understanding of where I need to use this, till which stage I can use this, and till which point I can use it. These are the things. Like some of the documents will have an expiry date, some of the document will not have an expiry date, and there will be some agreements also. Okay, so you guys need to have everything in your mind, so that it will be easier for you to understand this is a data that I can use. Okay, otherwise you should not go for the data, because like most of the data that are online, like it has some kind of copyright. Okay, so try to like have an understanding of this and then use it. Okay, whenever you collect the secondary data. Okay, next, transparency and honesty. So research must be transparent about their methods and honest in their reporting of findings. Okay, so whenever you collect the data, some of the data will be like overdone, overdo. Okay, they will say like this is 100% accuracy the model gives. No, not like that. The model would have given 90%, but they over exaggerated that it has given 100%. So the data should be honest. Okay, then only if you train it or build the model, it will work fine. Okay, so you should, so that's the reason we are just telling you guys, you should get the data from a trusted source. Okay, then data security and integrity. Data should be stored securely, protected from unauthorized access, and maintained with integrity. Like, guys, this is the main thing. Whenever you collect the data, consider a client is coming to you and they're asking you to do something. Okay, if you have a data in some online source or cloud, the data going to be bleached. It gonna be used by some other. So try to have a data in a secured form, secured manner, so that it could have a greater integrity for you guys. Okay, you should secure your client data. It is like a, like consider it as a life of a client. Okay, you need to secure the data. So not like collecting the data is not a purpose. You need to collect the data from a proper source, and you need to secure the data in a manner that it is not exposed to others. Okay, so yeah, these are the ethical consideration I tell. Whenever you go for a data collection, just keep these guidelines in your mind and then go for a data collection. Yes, sir, over to you.
Yeah, again, yeah, privacy and confidence. You need to have privacy and confidence because, guys, you might get legal notices and lawsuits because of this thing. You need to understand Suppose you are collecting data on how many women get, suppose the abortion happens, okay, and you find somewhere some data and you published it, and so you can understand that obviously you can show it that so that people get educated, but then you need to be very clear that you're not going to share the names and stuff because that's very very legal data. So again, if something, some government has done some legal, some private, suppose some they don't want to share that data with public, some defense deal or something, and you share that data, you got some data and you shared, so you are going to breach the security of country. So you need to understand the confidentiality, that how much data you can share, how you need to take approvals, you need to take consent, and first once you take that, then you can use that, and how you can use it. So there are a lot of nitty-gritties and legal and copyright and other concerns which you need to consider. Then you need to get consent, which I already talked. You need to have informed consent. You need to take approvals, and then you can use it, how much you can use. So as per the approval you can use. If somebody has given approval only for 10,000 data points, you can use. You are not going to use 20,000 data points if you have a file or something. So you need to use according to the approval. Transparency and honesty. You need to be very transparent, honest, whatever data you have collected from beginning till end. So these guidelines are very important from end to end. How you're going to use, collect, or how you're going to, whatever you are going to. Data security and integrity. Again, you need to protect this data so that it doesn't get leaked. Suppose you got data from Aadhaar, all the Aadhaar numbers and all. And then if you try to misuse it, so it would be a big legal issue. And then you are putting countries complete, like it's a wealth of, it's wealth of a country. Yeah, people are the wealth of the country. So you need to protect that their privacy and confidentiality and integrity and data security, that is very 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 important because all bank accounts are linked with Aadhaar. So if some other country finds that detail of Aadhaar detail, you got a data file, and then they try to misuse and take all the money from all the accounts, what will happen to country's economy? So understand that data is a life of any project, any country, any sovereignty right now. So government functions on data. So you can say it's a life of a country. So don't, never ever play. Always have these guidelines. So be very critical, very sensitive. Integrity, have integrity, security, transparency, honesty. Be informed, get approval, privacy, confidentiality. And because of this, then there would be another point which is called cyber security. So here, if you leak any information or you miss any guideline from here, you are going to breach the cyber security, and that will be a biggest mistake of your project. And lot of projects have been banned, CEOs have been terminated, and there has been millions of dollars of lawsuits because of data integrity. Okay, be very clear.
Yeah, that's a nice point, sir. Yeah. So moving on. So yeah, we're gonna conclude and key takeaways of this data collection case. So collecting a right data method is crucial for generating a valid and reliable insight in the data science. The choice depends on the research questions, target population, and available resources. Ethical consideration must always be prioritized to ensure responsible and impactful data collection practice. So I will put it in a simple manner. Data collection is like a first and foremost step that you need to be very knowledgeable and understand what kind of data you are choosing. So because it gonna result direct result to the model that you are building. Okay, it should be pure. It should be from a reliable source. Okay, reliable. Okay, and it should be real and it should be trustworthy. Okay, then whenever you collect the data, guys, just follow the steps that sir has telling you guys. It should be like confidential, and like what kind of agreements they are having, like those things, guys. The data should be in a manner that it is private to you. Okay, because client is believing you, giving you a data to build a model. You should store the data in a manner that it is not exposed. You should have a greater confidentiality of data. So these are the two key takeaway based on me, guys. You should collect the data in a proper manner so that you can build a model. Okay, in a proper manner, and you should protect your data, whatever data you are having. Okay, so you should follow ethics whenever you collect the data. So these are gonna be major takeaway for me. Yeah, sir, over to you.
Yes, again, I reiterate ethical consideration is very important, and data should be non-biased. It should be from a true source. If it is primary, you need to control the environment, not biased. And it's secondary, critically check the source of the information data. So what is this information? Suppose I give you example. Suppose you heard a news, okay, something happened somewhere. So you need to see what is the source of that news channel, so from where it came, then you need to go and see, oh, there is a video. Then you need to see that from where this video got, and who uploaded this video first. Okay, then you need to check that whether this video is edited or not. So you need to check that. If that is not edited, if it is edited, then you know this is not a reliable. If it is reliable, it would be non-edited. Then you see, then you need to also check through which device and what is the device number. What is the that device number? You need to have that. If you are saying that I've got this information, true research is you need to have the primary device number with you from where you got this information. I'm giving one example, guys. So nowadays we see in news and social media, we don't know where is the who is the giving the information, and then we start try to share and we try to spread it all over, and there's a fake news and stuff, and because of that there are a lot of chaos in the society and people with negativity and stuff. So guys, be very very careful. So normal people, if they are doing, they need to learn, but you are data scientists, you are not going to say a word without true research, a genuine research with authenticity and genuineness, with proofs. You need to have proofs for your data, and that is very important. And then ethical considerations, and it would be sole responsibility for you if you are sharing this information and through you, and you have not done research, you will be responsible. And be very critical, guys, very authentic and ethical. And these are the takeaways. If you have come to this session, complete previous session 5 to 10 times, do revision information, uh, absorb the information, digest the information, write in the comment section, and subscribe to our channels. And also press the bell icon so that you get notification, and write in the comment section what you have learned, how you're going to implement and do all the assignments. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Meet you all in the next session. Thank you. Bye. Bye.